So between cutting this thing apart and working on the Corolla, whenever I can't be at the farm, I work on this thing. So the video is going to be all messed up. Now I just left the farm after doing some work on the Corolla and I had enough for one night. And earlier today, actually I don't even think I filmed putting the supports in, but the car is fully supported at its new ride height, which is going to be a little bit lower than it was before. And from there, I've got the rear end almost ready to come out. So I'm going to slap the time lapse on and get that done. And then after that, it's going to be cutting up some roll cage and some frame, and we're going to start from scratch. Again. So as you can see before I start cutting anything, it's very bare. And anybody that knows me or has seen any of the build videos when I built this thing early on, I knew zero about race cars when I built this car. Any of this chassis stuff was just like, I think this is how it's supposed to look. Because there wasn't much internet back then, and there wasn't much for, I never looked at an NHRA rule book or anything like that. So as far as my brain went, I was like, yeah, okay, I did okay. Except for, I wish I would have known. I wouldn't have done any square tubing stuff. And this square tubing is, I believe it's 3/16 thick. I remember it being thicker, way thicker than I needed to be. So once I cut this out, like I explained, I'm going to be cutting it out from here to here. I'm going to flat plate this square tubing, and I'm going to do some round tube all the way back. So by the time I've done and cut everything out, and all of the back tubs was all out of steel. It was all thin sheet metal, but I have aluminum now, so we'll do it all in aluminum. And yeah, as far as that goes, I've got some different ideas for like geometry in the back. Like literally, if you think about it, this is the only point I have going back. Like this isn't tied to the chassis, which, if I had a bar from there to there, that would have probably, helped things out. But, from this point all the way to the back point, there's a lot of force going up on the suspension and on the chassis there. So, things I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. And there's something else I found out watching Tim McAmis stuff. I kept getting fucking holes and shit blowing out. I'm like, what the fuck? And he explains how they drill holes where the pipe's gonna be, or where the tubing's gonna be. And that way when you're welding and you're closing it off, it doesn't build pressure inside the tube, and that it always vents down to the next tube, to the next tube, to the next tube. So there's never any pressure and your welds won't blow out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean up all these welds, all the ones that are really poopy, and go over everything with the TIG, try to make it a little bit nicer, a little bit stronger. But yeah, we're gonna make it a better race car. And then after that, we are never touching this thing ever again, because I'm gonna build a new one. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it in previous videos, but this whole, I'm gonna rebuild a new 9-inch for the Camaro, and I'm narrowing it just a little bit because those tires came really, really close. And instead of just getting new wheels to tuck them in, because I want to put 33s in the car. It's got 31s on it now. And yeah, instead of, getting new wheels, I'm just gonna narrow the diff about 1 inch and cut about 1 inch of spline off, because I know there's a bunch of spline in there. So unless the spline's twisted, then I'm gonna get new axles. But I think narrowing it 1 inch, I don't know if I'll do 1 inch, maybe like 3/4 of an inch on both sides, and that'll just tuck the tires in a little bit. Because I know it'll get a lot closer, but I am making more room, and I am going to stretch the wheel wells. So much. everything's tacked into place, I think we can do some cutting here. That'd be awesome. Left back there. Am I nervous? Just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Kind of excited at the same time. It's a little bit of, unknown feelings. But I have an idea that we're gonna do a great job. I'm gonna draw this thing out before I even decide on how I'm gonna do it. But my next move is cleaning this mess up and probably bringing that other diff in here. I'll start taking this one apart so I can measure everything to make sure I do have enough spline to cut the axles down a little bit. And I'll get the other diff sandblasted, cut down, we'll put the ends on it, all that stuff. And then I'm gonna have to build a mount or a receiver or whatever for my tubing bender. I just farted live on camera. Yeah, somewhere probably over there. So there's gonna be some mess cleanup to do, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it for tonight. Probably this is where I'm gonna end this video, and you guys actually get to see something. So I want to bring some life back into this channel. So if I can get you guys to rate the video, subscribe if you haven't been around. We're gonna pick things up a little bit. Like, share, whatever. Tell your friends. You know, maybe they're as dumb as I am and they want to cut up their car and make it no more good.